Hello and welcome to this midweek meditation. These are some early thoughts that are popping through my head at the moment as I'm preparing for the sermon on Sunday, the theme of which is the cost of commitment. And the verse that I've chosen to go into the what's on for this week, for this particular passage, and I basically just want you to carry this verse with you for the next few days. Write it down on a piece of paper, keep it in your pocket, make a note of it on your phone, or find a digital version of the verse online, take a screenshot, have it as your wallpaper, whatever. But just to let this verse sit with you over the next few days, and I'll give you some of my initial thoughts on it and where I'm going, but you'll go off in different directions, I'm sure. So this is from Luke 14, and this is Jesus saying, "And whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple." So I'll just repeat that again. So, "And whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple." And thinking about that reminded me of a few different things. A couple of which that I'll share here. One of which, and I think this is a story I've told before, either in church or even possibly on here actually. When I first came to faith, when I first became a Christian, and I was at university and rang home and told my family, one of my parents said, "I'm sure life will be much easier for you from now on." Now there is a context there, which is up until that point, and to be honest even now, in some ways, particularly health-wise, and I may talk about this a little bit more on Sunday, I have a difficult life. It might not always be obvious, but I do. But I think it misunderstood as well what Christianity is. People quite often think that people choose to become Christians to give them some sort of comfort from the world. And to be honest, sometimes people do. But it's a much more complex faith than that. And sometimes Christianity is meant to be difficult. It's what in teaching we call desirable difficulties, which is when you want a student to learn, you need to push them beyond their comfort zone. If they're getting 10 out of 10 on all their quizzes, it's too easy. You need to give them something harder. Desirable difficulties is you make learning harder. And I wonder, and I don't know for sure, whether God does the same with us to a certain extent. He gives us desirable difficulties, things that we need to push through in order to be developed, because our faith is not just a matter of, oh, I'm saved, now I don't have to do anything. Our faith is, oh, I am saved, now I need to be pushed to become even better, to do more, to be changed by the experience. Because carrying the cross does that. This is not, as my mum and dad used to have, a little wooden holding cross that you would have during prayer. It's light, it's easy to carry, it has virtually no weight or consequence for that matter. The cross that Jesus calls us to carry, it's the same cross that he carried. It's heavy, it's hard work, you feel it, it hurts sometimes. Carrying the cross is a challenge. It's a difficult challenge. It reminded me of, there were pictures in the news in the last few days of a march that took place in Manchester. I'm being very careful what I say about this. There was a march that took place in Manchester, and somebody was pictured holding a big cross as they were doing the march. And this has been a common theme recently, the co-opting of Christianity, the co-opting of Christian symbols into something much more unpleasant. And this wasn't carrying the cross and being Jesus' disciple. This is a misunderstanding, a misinterpretation of what it means to be a Christian. And it also reminded me, this is just the third thing to hold as well. One of my favourite books, and I have a spare copy. I'll try and remember to bring it along on Sunday just in case anyone wants it. By a gentleman who passed away a few years ago called M. Scott Peck, who was a psychiatrist, but also later on in life became a Christian. And he wrote a book called The Road Less Travelled. Very, very powerful book. A lot of sort of Christian self-help books are, to be honest, weak and largely useless. But this has such depth to it, such nuance, such meaning. But it's a hard read because it challenges us. It doesn't comfort us, it challenges us. But the very first sentence of this, and it borrows a little bit from the Four Noble Truths of Buddhism, but it's a great truism, this first sentence. And it also builds in very much into the book of Ecclesiastes, for example. It's just 3 words. Life is difficult. Life is difficult. Carrying the cross is difficult. It has consequences. Jesus knew the consequences of carrying the cross. We see that consequence within the Passion story. Jesus knew what was going to happen. Knew what was going to happen to him. Knew the suffering that he would go through. And yet called on us to do the same. To die to our old lives and to be reborn in the new. And that means change. Life is difficult. Change is difficult. So just take that verse over the next few days and think about what it means in terms of what needs to change in your life. What needs to change in how you are around people. What needs to change in how you respond and how you react and how you behave with other people. Because this is what encountering Christ does. It changes us. And so whoever does not carry their cross and follow me cannot be my disciple.